back. Are you excited?
Satan? Is that you?
Nope, it's Amber.
Nope, it's Amber. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited we're back.
Yes.
So, in case you don't know us, hi, welcome back to the Haunted Cafe podcast. I'm Amber.
And I'm Satan. Alan, sorry.
And it's been a while, so I'm kind of like, not sure what I'm talking about.
We're refreshing ourselves again.
Yeah, so this podcast is basically where I talk about myths, legends, and all kinds of creepy stuff. I mean, obviously, you see all the past episodes.
And we didn't die or anything. We've just been dealing with our own issues. Life, as usual, just gets in the way.
It's been a bit. So
it's been a bit of a ride.
So just to give you a little idea of what's been happening. For starters, my back.
Oh, jeez, cat.
If you hear bowl noises, it's our cat wanting food.
It's about time. You want me to just give him some food?
Yeah,
you go ahead and keep talking about it.
Oh. So my back was really bad, hurting me. I don't even know really what was wrong with it, but it got to the point where I couldn't walk. I could barely bend over for anything. It was really hard. You're gonna hear ASMR cat noises.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Continue. ASMR cat food scooping. There we go.
There you go.
I think I nicked the mic a little bit, but...
Yeah, but
anyway.
Yeah, so my back was hurting, I couldn't walk, I couldn't really, bend over. It was really hard for me to, sit and write, which, if you don't know, I literally write all of these episodes by hand on, notebooks, so it took a lot out of me to not being able to, do anything.
Sit down and actually do something.
Yeah, so
no matter what position you were in, you couldn't write. Be standing up, it would hurt. Sitting down, it would hurt. Laying down,
I'm still, honestly, it still bothers me, but I'm getting to the point where I'm okay right now. Yeah. So.
And before you guys go saying anything at all, it was not COVID. That is not a sign of COVID.
No, it wasn't anything. I wasn't sick or anything.
No,
my back. It was just my back and my hip. So.
Yeah. And I could have took control, but it's her podcast. I'm not going to do that.
And what we thought it was bursitis. I think it's
sciatic. Bursitis or sciatic. Yeah.
It's basically where the hip joint gets really swollen, and it's just so fucking painful to
deal with.
So, but yeah, we're back. I'm okay with that. And then you went to Tennessee with
I went to Tennessee because my mom was getting married,
and she got
married. So was my aunt, and so was my uncle, all in the same day.
3 weddings in one day.
And the main reason why y'all why that's weird because my grandmother, she's not doing so well, so we tried to get all 3 of those weddings out of the way at once, so that way she can actually experience the weddings. So.
Yeah. So it was just kind of it's an opportunity to go down there and see his grandmom, and then it was an opportunity to watch his mom get married. So, and he cried.
Yeah.
It was cute.
I didn't think I was going to, but I can't handle my emotions like I used to. Before, I was stone cold, man. I wouldn't make any emotions. And that's the bottom line. Why? Well, not anymore, because I cried.
But yeah, so then that happened. I was going to do an episode by myself, because it was around Valentine's Day. And I still wasn't feeling really well. My back was still bothering me. And then also, while that was going on, my aunt passed away. Yeah. I'm starting to tear up. But, so she was basically a mom for me. I didn't have really good childhood, or, I didn't really have a good family situation when I was growing up. So she was there as, a mom for me, and, so it hit me hard.
And this is the same thing goes with my grandmother, too. The main reason I went down to Tennessee is to see my grandmother and my mom get married. Because, first of all, my mom...
Your grandmom and your mom get married?
Well, no, not... Well, first of all, my mom has never been in a very happy relationship, period. And now she's actually in a really, really good one. And I'm actually proud of her. As a son, I'm proud of her that she actually found somebody that actually treats her properly the way she deserves to be treated. And not only that, my grandmother, she pretty much raised me because of the situation I was in. It was my grandmother and my grandfather. They were mother and father figures whenever my mom and stepdad couldn't be. So I had to go down and see her and also watch my mom get married. So it's been an emotional ass couple of months.
It's been a month, honestly.
It's been a month, yeah. There's just a lot fucking going on. It's still continuing. It hasn't stopped, but
we've gotten to a point where we're back.
It's somewhat stable.
It's back to normal. And so if I sound weird or if I'm messing up on a lot of stuff, forgive me because it's going to take me a minute to get back
we're not used to doing all this
into the swing of all this. I'm also no longer recording on Twitch anymore.
Just because it's too much.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's too much. The video quality on Twitch was terrible. Especially from the phone we were using to record. It's just bad, and everything was way too dark. There was way too much light. And when we were posting on YouTube, I mean, we were getting okay views.
We're getting the same amount of views as
just doing a audio. Podcast. Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems easier this way to just record. And
I think your TikTok is still running though, right?
Yeah, I haven't posted anything lately just because.
So the TikTok is still being used. But
I will start to use that more. So go follow me on TikTok, Haunted Cafe Podcast.
Yes.
You can still send me an email for the T-Tail stories. That's the Haunted Cafe.
Which we need more because the first one was pretty good.
Yeah.
The T-Tail's got a decent amount of views too.
Yep.
So.
But that's the Haunted Cafe at gmail.com, I believe. I'll try putting, whatever. But, yeah. So, you ready to get into it?
Yep.
We're talking about Skinwalkers today.
Yes.
And before we get into
their butt hurt.
Before we get into it, I just wanted to say first, no disrespect whatsoever, by talking about this legend. I understand fully that Skinwalkers are part of Native American culture and their beliefs. I really don't want to disrespect anyone.
A lot of people would probably say that you need to have like a Native American, but guess what? I'm part Cherokee and Blackfoot, so your Native American is right here.
Yeah, but I know that Skinwalkers are part of like their culture. It's also like very significant for them.
Very significant.
Like most Native Americans don't even really like talking about Skinwalkers,
they don't.
But it's just.
It's
a legend.
If you're going to get mad at us for talking about Skinwalkers, then go ahead and yell at every single other person in the world that has ever done Skinwalkers that did not have a Native American to speak to while they were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm at least talking to one.
One who has actually some in their DNA. And I'm not lying about that either.
No.
Like, I have legitimate Cherokee and I have legitimate Blackfoot Indian in my DNA.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty decent percentage, too.
I was going to say, it may be a little bit smaller than
normal. My DNA is English, Irish, Scottish, Cherokee, Blackfoot, and I believe British. Something like that.
I think I'm Irish, Scottish, and maybe a little bit of like. I know I'm a lot of Irish or English. I think I was French too. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But anyway, so just to let you know, like I don't mean to disrespect anybody. Yeah. Also, if any of the information that I say here is wrong, please let me know. It was kind of hard to find some of the information about Skinwalkers
because there's so much different.
There's a lot of like information out there about this person says this, well this person says that. So
and this happened to that person, this happened to this person, and we've seen this happened, that happened. It's just a lot.
And honestly, we're all here to learn. Like, I really didn't know too much about Skinwalkers.
I knew a lot about Skinwalkers.
You knew more than I did.
I was sitting there telling her what I knew about it, and she was like, I didn't know that. I'm like, well, I did, so.
Yeah, you knew more about it than I did. And
Skinwalkers was something I looked up, because I found out that I had, Native American heritage, and I was like, well, what are some of the legends? Because I'm a creepy, spooky little motherfucker. Yeah. So I was like, I wonder what kind of, legends can come with it. I'm like, oh, wow, Skinwalkers? That's an interesting story.
That's why I was like, how do you know more than I am? Because I'm a spooky dooky little bitch. Because I
looked, just like when I found out I had Scottish and Irish in me, I looked up some of the Scottish and Irish legends because I was curious to see what my ancestors talked about. Yeah. I was curious.
Yeah. But, we're all here to learn, so if there's something that I say wrong or whatever, either put it in a comment in the on the YouTube channel, or you can send me an email at thehauntedcafe@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And I'll correct it. I don't care.
And if you have any complaints, just file them in the box called burn up, because that's exactly what will happen. We'll just burn them up. They'll just automatically just get cremated.
All right.
Ashes. We all fall down, just like your comments down the trash. Anyway.
All right, so we're going to get started. Mm-hmm. So first, of course, we need to know exactly about what a skinwalker is.
I mean, I could have. I mean, you didn't even need to read this. I could have told you what it is.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't know. Yeah. I honestly thought that they were like creatures. But they're not. They're actually humans who are able to shape-shift into various forms through witchcraft.
Yep.
They can transform into animals and even other people.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to clarify, I never even knew that these skinwalkers were human. I thought it was an entity or spirit that made up these things, but no, they're actually humans.
Yeah, because the skinwalkers, I mean, it's skinwalker, it's a certain entity or deity that is wearing skin. and they could wear any skin at once. Yeah. That's what Skinwalker is.
Yeah, so Skinwalkers are also known as, I'm going to mess this up because it's a Native American.
Well, let me see. I might be able to do it.
I tried to, pronunciate it out. Go ahead.
It's where is it at? It's at the bottom right here, right?
Right down here, yeah. Right.
So it looks like it says, Yi Nai Dushi. Translate to, with it, he goes on. Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah, but, so what Alan said.
I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. I never really looked up the proper pronunciation. I always just called them Skinwalkers.
Yeah, it's just the native name. It translates to, with it, he goes on.
Yeah. And we gotta be careful too, because talking about Skinwalkers.
Yeah. He goes on all fours.
Ah,
basically like animal.
Yeah.
Skinwalkers are described as naked, except for wearing a coyote or wolf skin, or whatever skin that they prefer.
Yep.
Which I'll come back to the meaning of that later. Some describe the creature as mutated versions of the animals. So, like, when they transform, they're kind of, like, mutated, either bigger or... The walkers are usually fast and very agile and basically impossible to catch. Someone tried to shoot one, but of course that was unsuccessful because,
it dodged that shit like Neo.
Yeah, probably. Skinwalkers will transform into their animal counterpart to wreak havoc on others, and no one would even know who they actually are. And that's kind of like a part of it. We'll get into that.
There's all kinds of other legends where witches do that too. There's pagan witches that do that.
Well, that's basically the thing. It's witchcraft, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was just like I said, I thought it was an entity. I didn't realize that it was basically like when shaman or whatever, they get good and they get bad. They basically learn all power, and it's their choice if they go good or if they go bad.
Yeah.
They're supposed to go good, but sometimes they go.
Yeah, they go to the dark side of the force.
Yeah, they would wear.
What episode number is this, by the way? Sorry, we never said what episode number it was.
It's episode 12, supposedly.
Episode 12.
Oh,
okay, go
shoot,
ahead.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Episode 12.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So they will wear the pelt of the animal he or she transforms into, usually with no other clothing. Because of their association to skinwalkers, wild animal hides are considered taboo in Navajo nature. I put nature, but that might be wrong. Like Navajo, clothes. I'm not sure how true that statement is. I don't know if they just mean like specifically coyote skin or just animals who are associated with skinwalkers. But this is going to sound stupid, but I looked up pictures and it seems like Navajo never really wear skins of animals. So I'm assuming it's all. Yeah,
it's spread. There's different
mostly
versions.
Like woven clothes.
Yeah, there's even a few skinwalkers that wear skulls of the animals they transform into, and that's how they're able to do it. Like their body is parts of a human, and their head is part of an animal, and combined just makes the animal.
But I just mean, like regular Navajo people, they don't wear skins because it's considered like, oh, are you a skinwalker?
Yeah.
They mostly wear like woven clothes. At least that's what I saw. So, like I said, if I'm wrong, please correct me. As I was saying, skinwalkers are shapeshifters. A skinwalker can be virtually anything, including a wolf, coyote, fox, bear, owl, or crow. Usually, though, they like to stick one animal form that they like. In animal form, they are extremely fast and almost impossible to catch. According to Navajo legend, skinwalkers can read human thoughts. They can also make any human or animal noise that they choose.
I knew that. Yeah,
that's why in some cases people who are out in the woods can hear a baby crying or someone begging for help. That's usually not a good sign. Turn around, run away.
And since Bigfoot is attached to the Indian heritage or the Native American heritage as well, Bigfoot could also be a skinwalker.
He could be,
or the noises that you hear could be skinwalker noises.
Yeah.
So.
And also, this made me think of something. With Morbid, the podcast that I listen to, they always say, like, don't help anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. You probably sound like you're being a dick, but just don't help anybody because you don't know. No. And it's like, if you hear somebody in the woods, don't go looking for helping them.
Yeah, that's almost like, if you guys ever watched the Predator movies, the old Predator movies with, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny Trejo and all them, when they were in there, when Danny Trejo dies, the Predator copies his voice and makes it echo through the woods to attract other people to his dead body so the Predator could kill him.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. So like all you hear is Danny Trejo's like fading, dying voice going, help me. And then when they walk up to him, Danny Trejo's just on his knees and his like eyeballs are plucked out of his head. Oh, and then they get shot. Like I think I don't remember if his eyes are out of his head or not. But like he's dead. Like he's dead. But yeah, he's still like, help me.
It's them.
Yeah, it's them. Wow. It's a recording of his voice.
Yeah. So wow, that's creepy. Mm-hmm. Even though skinwalkers can take on their animal form at any time they want, they are not able to perfectly recreate an animal gait, like their walk, or leave the properly sized animal tracks. I thought that the page was like a cool bit of knowledge that I just never really knew, that they couldn't perfect it. So honestly, if you see huge freaking wolf paws, that might not even be a wolf. It might be a skinwalker.
Yeah.
Wolf. Is it wolf? Wolf.
Well, if you're Rhett, it's wolf.
Yeah, that's what made me think.
Rhett from Good Mythical Morning, he says wolf instead of wolf.
I think I do it too, honestly.
Wolf. You heard about that pack of wolves?
Yeah, so skinwalkers can only be defeated if you know the person, kind of. Basically, you have to discover their human identity. And this is where I'm not entirely sure how accurate this is, so if anybody wants to correct me, please do it. This is possible if you track down if you track the skinwalker back to their home, or in some stories, if a skinwalker is injured and that same injury is found on a human. So basically, if like the wolf gets their shoulder injured, and then the next day your friend Sam is injured in that same spot, he could be that skinwalker. It is said that if a Navajo knew the person behind the skinwalker, they had to pronounce their full name and say, Alan, you are a skinwalker. 3 days later, if you are correct, that person would get sick and die from the wrong they have committed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know skinwalkers could be defeated, honestly. I never actually looked that much into it.
Well, you have to make sure that they are absolutely a skinwalker.
And what happens if you say they are and they're not?
Nothing. But it's just like, if you're wrong, you kind of look like a jackass. Yeah, you do.
Go around each of your tribal members like,
or
hey, yo.
If the skinwalker sees you, like, say it to somebody, and then they know, oh, well, he's catching on to somebody, they might kill you. So
yeah, exactly.
Nothing happens. But supposedly it is almost impossible to kill a skinwalker in human form. I did not know that, and I found it pretty interesting. From what I understand, there are different types of skinwalkers. It mostly differs by how they were created. So there's the way that I said, where it's usually someone who learned good and bad magic, and then they let the bad magic take over. There is also skinwalkers who gain powers by breaking cultural taboo. So like wearing the skins when you're not supposed to, or anything. It is generally thought that only childless women can become these witches. So skinwalkers are witches, obviously, that pick the bad power. One type of skinwalker known as what Alan said, I can't pronounce it. Which are the ones who are initiated by the witchery way. Yanaldoshi, I probably said that really wrong, but that's how we're going to go. Gain power by killing a close relative, sometimes even a sibling. They are known to desecrate sand paintings by urinating, spitting, or defecating on them.
Ew.
Yeah, it's fucked up. They also practice, page flip, cannibalism and necrophilia, which cannibalism is eating other people, and necrophilia is having intercourse with dead bodies.
Yep, parasites and whatnot.
Yeah. They are said to be able to create a pollen, from, trigger warning, ground human infant bones that when they are I can't talk.
You're triggered.
I'm triggered. So it's ground human infant bones that when they are sprinkled on sleeping people, it can cause sickness, social problems, and even death. So basically, like, it's this powder.
Bad luck.
Yeah, it's like a bad luck powder.
Yeah.
And, which, honestly, social problems are a big thing in the tribes. Because, like, if you kind of like disrespect people, it's obviously, I mean, anywhere, it's going to start pissing people off. Skinwalkers can transform into basically anything, like I said. Any animal they want to, but for some reason I wrote that twice. I wrote the same thing. Coyotes, wolves, owls, foxes, and crows. I don't know why I wrote that twice.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like not feeling good when I was writing this, so if, like I said, I'm out of it. But some Navajo believe that skinwalkers have the ability to steal the skin or body of another person. The Navajo believe that if you lock eyes with a walker, they can absorb themselves into your body, which is crazy because can you imagine if you're being blamed for shit that you already aren't even doing and you have no way of stopping it?
Yep.
Like, or like one day you just come face to face with yourself, like, you know, because they take over your body. I'd be, I don't know what I'd do if I see myself, you know?
I don't know what I would do either.
Because you can't kill them. I mean, or would they still be in human form if they're not their own form?
That's a paradox that we will not talk about. Because I have no idea.
You know, like if they're as you, are they still in human form, but they're not themselves?
I think no, just because it's
they're not themselves.
Yeah, they're not themselves. They're not human form self. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I guess the only way to tell, if they are a skinwalker is some Navajo believe that skinwalkers' eyes glow like an animal's while in human form. So like they just glow different. 'Cause I'm not entirely sure what glowing like an animal's is.
Like you know when a deer in headlights, how it's just that bright yellow or that bright red or that bright blue, that one specific bright color. That's what they.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that meant, but that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And that would be an easy way to tell the difference if you have both lookalikes together. Like, so, like, if you have you and then your other you.
Yeah, I think they also mean, like, their eyes glow in general, which means their eyes have a bit of a shine to them compared to the other person, because that would also make sense, especially if you can't tell that with animals during the day with that little shimmer, even with a flashlight on them. Yeah, when it's nighttime, you can see it, but... Like Gypsy, our cat, her eyes glow, technically. They glow. They're a lot brighter than a human's eyes. So, same with Voodoo. Like, they glow. They glow a lot brighter than a regular human's eyes.
Yep. So since skinwalkers are witches who learn their power for evil, it is said that they can use the spit, hair, shoes, or old clothing of a person to make a curse that will attack that specific curse.
Yeah, so like a hex almost.
Attack that specific person. Yeah. For this reason, many Navajo don't leave their belongings around. They won't leave their shoes outside. They also are said to burn any excess hair or nail clippings, which is like wild to me. Like it's smart to do that. Honestly, I would have never even thought of that. Like I would have never thought to burn stuff. Yeah. So I feel like when we page flip think of skinwalkers, we primarily think of Native American beliefs. But as we know, shapeshifters themselves are known around the world.
Just by different names.
Yep. Werewolves who've transformed from human to wolf on full moons, or a type of skinwalker. This legend actually came from Greek mythology. The legend goes that a man named Lycaon, I think that's how you say it. Lycan. It's Lycaon.
Yeah, Lycan.
Yeah. Lycan angered Zeus when he made Zeus a meal from human flesh. The flesh.
What the hell does Zeus care?
Yeah.
I think Zeus actually ate people. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Zeus was a hoe anyway.
Yeah. He fucked anything with legs.
Not that means that you have to be fed human, but Zeus was a hoe. The flesh was the remains of a sacrificed little boy. So
that's kind of fucked.
As punishment, Zeus Zeus turned Lycaon and his sons into wolves. Another example of skinwalkers, shapeshifters in other mythology is actually the Norse story of Sigmund and his son Sigfolti. I think that's how you say it.
Never heard of this.
Yeah. So the legend goes that these two men would often go into the forest to kill random men and steal from them. So already they're not really doing too well. But, I mean, honestly, back back in those days, I mean, not like condoning it, but sometimes that's like the only way.
Yeah, that's really the only way you could actually survive is to go out and rob. That's why that's thieves. Most thieves were poor,
like thieves guild kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, they created those guilds specifically to get money. It's like Robin Hood to get food and money from the people who could afford it because they couldn't eat and they couldn't. Robin
Hood wasn't trying to kill everybody.
No, he wasn't.
These guys didn't care and they would kill him.
Yeah.
During one of these trips, they stumbled across two men who were wearing gold rings and had with them 2 wolf skins. It turns out these wolf skins had a spell on them that forced the wearer to wear the skin for 10 days at a time. They had put on the wolf skins and were unable to get them off, so they ended up turning into wolves. So basically, they were stuck in wolf form for 10 days.
Oh wow.
They agreed to separate. I don't know why. I guess maybe so then they didn't like either cause fights between the two of them since they're wolves now.
Yeah.
Or if just to go on their way kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they decided to split ways. They agreed to call for help from the other if they ran into at most 7 men. So I think they planned on like attacking people as wolves and stealing from them.
Well, I was going to say that's probably what they would do, just because you have even more of an advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a lot easier to like fight people, I guess. Yeah. So
you're a smaller hitbox and your teeth are a lot sharper and you're a lot more quicker.
Yeah.
So
yep. So so they said if you come across like 7 men, call me and I'll come help you. Excuse me. Well, Sigmund came across 7 men, so he called out to Sigfolti. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. Who came to his aid, and they killed them all. Soon after they parted ways again, Sigfolti came across 11 men, and he fought them all by himself and killed them all without the help of his father. Which is like, good for you, you know?
Yeah.
Let me guys.
Yeah, you're stronger than the alpha male now.
Yeah, Sigmund became angry for him not asking for help, and he bit him in the windpipe. Then Sigmund, so obviously that's like a really bad injury. Sigmund carried Sigfolti back to his hut and sat with him. Like, don't go for help or no. I mean, what can you do? Can't really go for help.
Yeah.
One day, Sigmund saw 2 weasels fighting, and the one bit the other in the windpipe, same as them. The one weasel ran off and came back later with a leaf. The weasel put the leaf on the other one, and then the other one's wounds were healed. So I don't know what the leaf exactly was, but Sigmund went out and saw a raven flying around with a leaf, and it brought it to him. He ran back and placed it on his son's wounds, and it healed him. After the 10 days ended, they took the 2 wolf skins and burned them so that no one else could do any harm with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's probably choppy. There's probably more to that story, but that's like literally what I could find. Also, it's kind of like a choppy, like they did this and then they did that. There's probably a lot more to it.
Yeah, there's probably a lot more to it.
Yeah. So now that we know what Skinwalkers are and what they are and what they can do, and just the fact that they are kind of around the world in different shapes,
different shapes.
I didn't think of that. But in close enough ways to make it seem like that they exist, we're going to talk about some sightings. In fact, we are going to talk about probably the most relevant and well-known story that has anything to do with Skinwalkers, and that is the Skinwalker Ranch.
I remember you mentioning that.
So the ranch is a 500-acre property that is located in northern Utah in a region known as the Uinta Basin, or Uinta. I can't pronounce stuff, guys. I can't even pronounce English shit. So,
well,
the whole area.
Sorry.
The whole area has been crawling with rumors of strange occurrences even since the early Spanish missionaries. So, like, a long time ago. According to journalist George Knapp, I can't read my writing, so if that's crap.
George Crap?
I think it's Krapp, or it's Knapp, like Knapp. I can't read my writing, so.
I don't know. I can't read your writing half the time either.
Yeah. So. It's been a site of simply unbelievable paranormal activity, such as UFOs, Sasquatch, cattle mutilations, and psychic manifestations. You name it, residents have seen it.
pretty much everything we've ever talked about.
Yeah, so far. The ranch first came into national attention in the 1990s when the Sherman family purchased the farm in 1994. Ever since then, they have been sharing their tales on social media. Social media.
I feel like it's more or less just an ad campaign then.
Yeah.
Just to get their ranch popular.
Maybe. So the account occurred shortly after Terry and Gwen Sherman moved into the house. One day, they were startled by the sight of a strange animal, what they thought at first to be a wolf or a coyote, that was heading towards their livestock pen. The creature went to attack a calf, and Terry quickly shot at the creature with a handgun and a rifle. So he was like fully loaded.
He was ready. He was ready for war.
Yep. Even though the creature had been hit multiple times, it didn't seem bothered by the wounds and just wandered away. They reported that they smelled a foul stench like rotting flesh, which that's known to be, I think, more so with Sasquatch. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Skinwalkers are known to smell, but
I don't know.
I could be wrong with that too.
Probably not, considering if they're in human form, you can't tell. You can only tell by eyes.
Yeah.
So.
But Sasquatch definitely. That's
Sasquatch.
A known thing.
Everyone says he stinks.
Yeah, and and they could even smell it even after it disappeared. During the months that followed, people visited the ranch. People that visited the ranch, so not even just the Shermans, reported seeing strange creatures in the edge of the woods, and the creatures growling at them. The way I wrote it was, and growling at them, so I thought, it made me think of, like, the people growling at the creature.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. People on the ranch also reported lights in the sky.
UFOs?
Yeah, they would hover and zip around in the sky, and they would be orange, like, circles, and blue spheres. So, orange and blue circles. We're gonna talk about some of the entities in more detail, but, just remember that this episode is more on the Skinwalkers. Because, like, this ranch basically has everything. It has UFOs, it has Bigfoot. So I'm just going to specifically work on the Skinwalkers. And then I'm probably going to do a full episode on the ranch itself. So, okay? Yeah. Anyway, some of the really messed up things began to happen on the ranch. Trigger warning, we're going to talk about some animals.
Trigger warning!
Okay. I'm going to give you a minute to, like, skip through.
Well, you have to give them a timestamp, though.
Well, I don't know. Just skip, like, 15 or something. Okay. So, a lot of the animals on the ranch began to die in really weird ways. Some animals would look as if they had been burned. So, like, completely charred, some of them. Some would be dismembered, like, really bad ways. They actually went into more detail than I wrote, but I didn't want to actually talk about it.
There's no need to get in that much detail.
But
just know it was bad.
Yeah, just know that it was bad. It was in such a persistent way that the Shermans couldn't blame it on, like, coyote stacking. Like, they couldn't be like, this is a normal occurrence. Like, a chicken got eaten by a fox. Like, you know, like, that's normal sometimes.
Yeah, the dismemberments were surgical, and the burn wounds were unnatural.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So the Shermans, as I said, started talking about their experiences. They were getting stories written in newspapers. In fact, that's how Robert Bigelow found the property.
Male gigolo.
Yeah. So who was Robert Bigelow?
He was a male gigolo.
Yeah. What'd you say, a male gigolo?
Yeah, he was a male gigolo known as Deuce Bigelow, and he played in the movie Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Rob Schneider.
I've never heard that.
No?
I'm sitting here, like, if you guys could see my face, I'm like, huh?
And she's clueless, bro. But a gigolo, a male gigolo, or I think that's what it was called. Yeah, a male gigolo is a man whore.
Oh.
So, Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
I don't think that's what he was. But...
No. It just popped into my head. That's a huge bitch. That's one of the lines from one of the movies.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, he was a businessman with a passion of space travel and paranormal. He founded the National Institute.
I thought you were going to say the Institute. I was like, what the fuck is this, Fallout?
Yeah, the Institute. He founded the National Institute for Discovery Science. He actually ended up buying the property, so he and his team could actually study the strange occurrences. And they honestly find a lot of stuff there. But like I said, we're going to talk about it more when I do the episode. But supposedly, there's a local legend linking the presence of skinwalkers to hostile relations between two Native American groups, the Navajo and the Utes. I think it's Utes, so Utes.
Utes. Yeah, that's either Utes or the Utes.
Utes. I'm going to call it Utes. Yeah. If I'm wrong, correct me. Yeah. The Navajo were more aggressive
It could
people.
be the Ute, too. The Ute sounds more correct.
I'll call it Ute. Yeah. So the Navajo were supposedly more aggressive people. They actually, back then anyway, they supposedly took slaves. They actually had Ute slaves.
Yeah.
And also, according to local legend, these two groups had huge land disputes, which led to the Navajo to curse the land and unleash skinwalkers there. That's at least according to the local legend. I'm not sure how much I believe about this. I'm not saying that it's not true. This is a personal opinion, by the way. For one thing, the Navajo people were supposedly really scared of these skinwalkers. I mean, enough that they're like, hiding, burning their hair, burning their nail clippings and stuff like that. I don't understand, and it doesn't really make sense to me that they would release skinwalkers on their own land and like to go after people, because they're just cursing their own land. They're not cursing someone else's. I mean, I think they eventually like move, obviously, but still, if you're fighting for this land so much, you're not going to release like skinwalkers.
No.
And there's no way to just like create a skinwalker like that I know of. Like, create them to release them.
You never know.
Plus, they're not like robots where you're like, go attack this person or go attack these people. So what makes you, Well,
if it's the Ute attacking the Navajo, then if it's a Ute skinwalker, they already have an issue with the Navajo to begin with.
No, it's the Navajo putting the curse on the land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So, historic basis for this legend is kind of blurry. Betsy Chapus, the cultural rights and protective director for the Ute tribe, does say that the tales may have been tweaked throughout the generations. But she says that she herself has never heard of any Navajo curse being placed on the land. And she's like a director from the tribe, one of the tribes. Yeah. So I'm sure that they might, it's been passed down from generation to generation, so we can't take it fully like, yes, this is exactly how it happened, because shit changes so easily. But so I wanted to end the episode with two stories from people who supposedly, I'm just saying supposedly because we don't know, have personally seen skinwalkers. The first story comes from a Navajo reservation in Arizona. A woman, she was not named, was delivering newspapers in the early morning hours and claimed that she began to hear scratching on the passenger door of her car. And it was weird because her baby was in that seat in the car, in a car seat, so it wasn't like that would be the problem. Like, the baby wasn't scratching. Suddenly, the passenger door flung open, and she described a creature as such. A half-man, half-beast with glowing red eyes and a gnarly arm that was reaching for her daughter. She fought it off, managed to pull the door closed, and then sped off. To her surprise and horror, the creature ran right alongside of the car and kept trying to open the door. So that's crazy. Yeah. It stayed with her until she arrived at a 24/7 convenience store. She ran inside and freaked out with the clerk, but by the time the clerk got outside, the creature was gone. Which, I'm not sure if that, it probably is a skinwalker, but I'm not sure if it is or not.
Sounds like it would have been something else.
Yeah, it sounds like it's something else, because half man, half beast, nothing really describes skinwalkers as being half and half. It's either
they're one or the other,
a human, or they're an animal. Yeah. Unless this one figured out a way to like half and half himself,
Unless it was some sort of a new breed of skinwalker that was a curse, that he was cursed to be half animal and half human and never be able to go out in public again.
Maybe.
Because of that fact.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
Now, while most people would believe that skinwalkers only bother natives, this next story comes from a Caucasian family. And even though that this story happened in 1983,
1983, bruh.
The family in the story is actually still very hush-hush about this. They don't really like talking about it whatsoever, but they talked about it enough that I'm reading the story now. So
we don't like to talk about it, but here's a documentary.
Yeah. So while driving at night through Route 163 through the massive Navajo reservation, which I looked it up, and there actually is a Route 163 going through a reservation.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to see like how credible the story was.
Yeah.
The 4 family members got this odd feeling that someone was following them. As their truck slowed down to go around a bend, the atmosphere changed, and time itself seemed to slow down. Then something leaped out of a ditch ahead of them and headed towards the door. Quote, "It was black and hairy, and it was eye level with the cab," so the roof of the car. One witness said, "Whatever this thing was, it wore a man's clothes. It had a white and blue checkered shirt and long pants. Its arms were raised over its head. It looked like a hairy man or animal in men's clothing. Its eyes were yellow and its mouth opened." The father, who was later described as a fearless man who served 2 tours in Vietnam, turned completely white.
It's like, no, I'm all over again.
The hair on his neck and arms stood straight up, and although they said time had seemed to stood still, seemed to, they still had continued driving and eventually were miles down the road. So like it was like it froze, and then next thing they know that they're like still going down the road. But it gets worse because a few days later, at their home in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is actually close to a reservation, the family awoke to the sounds of loud drumming. As they peered out of their windows, they saw the dark forms of 3 men outside of their fence. I guess these beings tried to climb the fence but weren't successful. I don't know what kind of fence it was, but, either they couldn't climb it because they couldn't, like, physically, or they couldn't because of, like, being protected.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's nighttime, and they started chanting in the darkness. As the family sat in horror, supposedly the daughter talked to a Navajo friend who is knowledgeable about this type of witchcraft. The woman came into the home, she inspected the grounds, and believed that the intruders were Skinwalkers who were drawn to the family's power. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of power they had, but the Skinwalkers wanted it, and were going to take it by whatever means necessary. She believed that the intrusion failed because something was protecting the family. The Navajo woman performed a blessing ceremony at the home, and then the family supposedly didn't have any problems after that. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how much I believe about, like, the first part of that story.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, once again, like, I mean, maybe it's because it was technically, like, modernized. I don't... It's not like Bigfoot wearing the blue checkered shirt and jeans. Like, he's not going to be wearing... I would assume that he's not going to be wearing human clothing if they're terrorizing him.
Yeah, no.
Like, that, honestly, to me, sounds like a prank.
Yeah.
Like, someone was just out messing around in the reservation and just happened to, like, wait for a car to come by and pop up and scare you. I could be completely fucking wrong, but it didn't. I don't know.
Well, there's also that whole entire theory too that when something bad is happening to you and your reflections may seem really quick, but in reality time slows down around you. Like, you feel like time is slowing down. So like whenever people have really, really good reactions, it's not something that's like instant. It's not, they don't just automatically, like, for them time slows down, and that's how they're able to react that way. So it could have just been that instance where, like, your reflexes are kicking in, the adrenaline was going, and now time is slowing down because of it.
It could have been a normal person, but just the fact that it's like, because I think the reservation is mostly like deserty kind of type of terrain, and plus if you're slowing down to go around a bend, like, there's probably like mountain on like the one side and then maybe an open field on the other, and then just the fact that you saw somebody that you normally wouldn't see in those kind of areas, maybe it freaked them out so much that they're like, oh, well, he looked like this and this, and he didn't even look like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like stories were over dramatized just because you were hitting the flight or flight. Yeah,
yeah.
You were at your flight or flight. You know what I mean? And like even Vietnamese vets can get scared. Like I mean, you could be as cold hearted as you want to, but you will feel that, like, if you're in a car,
you're gonna still feel scared sometimes.
Yeah, like if you're in a car rolling down a hill, you're not gonna have a serious face the entire time. You're gonna be scared shitless. Like,
yep. And like the whole thing at their house, I believe that happened.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, but
I believe that happened. And the other story where she's, drove up to a 7-Eleven or whatever. It's just fucked up because I think she left her kid in the car.
Yeah.
But
like even then, like even with them not being able to get over the fence, I don't know how tall that fence was, but
I don't know.
A Skinwalker, like, they have the ability to just leap. Like, there are stories about them leaping high as shit. Like, you have to have a prison fence.
And that's what I'm saying. I wasn't sure if it was that they couldn't physically or just like they weren't allowed.
It was some sort of protective ground that they were trying to break their hold over.
That's what the lady had said. They weren't allowed. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's the episode on the Skinwalkers. Like I said, I wasn't really able to dig too much into it. I also didn't want to step on anybody's toes, so I kind of did like a really basic, what I feel like is a basic episode on Skinwalkers.
And if we did step on anybody's toes, just get over it. Like, I mean, we apologize for offending you, but at the same time, like I said, go yell at everyone else that's talking about these.
Yeah.
Like, try canceling their stuff. Don't focus on the little guy.
I'm just here trying to tell stories.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got people that are getting millions of views about Skinwalkers who are probably talking absolute garbage, and they're getting all kinds of praise.
Yep.
So
anyway, so that was this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna give a sneak peek for next episode just because I'm really excited about it. I believe next episode is... Oh, I gotta find it.
I'll find it.
So next episode, I'm going to be talking about the elevator game.
Oh, yeah, the fucking elevator game.
Oh, you're not excited?
I mean, I'm excited, but it's, like, creepy.
It's definitely creepy.
In my opinion, it's a little bit more creepy than the Skinwalker thing.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know. I don't know. If I saw some creepy Skinwalker, I think that'd be more scary.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would shit myself. Like, I would shit myself. Like... I'll be like, well, that's the end of my journey in life.
It's been a good one.
It's been a good couple of years.
But yeah, so that's what next episode's going to be. I already have that one planned out, but
there's a lot of episodes of Sherry's planned out because she's been sitting around a lot, so she's trying to get a lot of these episodes done. So
now that I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm gonna try. I've been trying to like kick myself into gear and get shit going. So
yep.
Thank you so much for listening. Please be gone.
Please be gone.
Please be sure to go check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that. It's basically the same content, except, basically it depends on whatever your platform that you prefer.
And this one has photos.
Yeah.
If you do photos.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do like a, the thumbnail, but I don't really do pictures in between.
And if you notice, we didn't put any ads in the middle of this either because we're just trying to get them out there.
I'm just trying to get you guys an episode. It's been a while. I missed everybody.
The few people that are here.
Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna start blabbering. Stop blabbering.
I mean, we do on the Twitch stream. We blabber nonstop. So. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, if you guys like what she does specifically, then go ahead and give a follow, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Keep an eye out for the TikTok, and we will see you guys whenever we put up another video.
Yep.
Catch you later.